Hi, my name is Tom Taylor. I can be contacted at tomptaylor@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at tomptaylor. Today I'm going to do a screencast on what I'm calling a KEMN stack. What that stands for is Kendo on the client side. I'll be using a Kendo grid, and Node on the server with Express. And at the database layer, I'll be using MLab's MongoDB. All this is running on Amazon Web Services, and here's a great link to a tutorial on how to set up that kind of a stack. Not exactly a mean stack is in the tutorial, but we'll give you an idea of how to get that up and running. There's a couple different architectures that I've used. I've used REST from the standpoint that I'm doing AJAX calls using a post and a put and a get. At the node level, I'm doing dynamic routing on the object. So what you're not seeing in the code behind the scenes is I'm not creating a new route for every single object or table. I guess you could also say it's a SPA type application from the standpoint that the page is a single page. The grid, the Kendo grid, is being created and destroyed upon each call to the different object. So you'll see the model and the columns change depending upon which object or table that you're working on. My intent was to do a full CRUD application. Right now I just have create, read, and update. Next version will have the delete. So let me show you. If you come to this URL, like I said, this is running on Amazon Web Services. So if you just hit that URL, you'll get a simple welcome. If you type in users for the URL, you'll kind of start getting into the application a little bit here. I'm only working with two tables, so I have a users table and a notes table. There is an authors table, but for this demo, I'm just going to use those two tables. I'll be adding a record, and I'm going to use my name. This is doing a post, and you'll see that a full screen refresh was not done. It was an AJAX update, or I'm sorry, an AJAX create, and that returned the database ID back to the screen to indicate that the record was in fact saved. I'm going to do a put now and update that record. So that is done. And now I'm just going to add one more record. Okay, at this point, I'm going to switch to a different table or object. I'm going to switch to the notes, and you'll see again the page does not refresh. This is all where the client side is destroying the grid and recreating it based off of the schema. And you'll see that for the notes, I actually have two fields. So I add a quick little test record. That record was saved to the database, and then just to prove that those records are really in the database, you see that when I switch back and forth, my records come up. So I hope you liked my demo, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.